if you're trying to manifest and you're trying to work towards your dream life, but you feel like you're just getting stuck and held back by the severity and the weight of your emotions, all you have to do is sit with your emotions and be there for your emotions. Be there for the shadow side of yourself that is suffering, that's in pain right now, and see the shadow self like it's a little girl, this little kid, and she's so upset and she feels so alone in this world. Be the one to sit with her and be the one to validate her and tell her that you can move past it. Hey babe, welcome back to the Caring a Lot podcast. I have realized recently that I have been the one getting in my own way for so long. We all like to think that we're self-aware. We all like to think that we know what we're doing. We know our downfalls. We know our flaws and weaknesses. But I have had to get very, very open and honest and vulnerable with myself and face the parts of me that I have been hiding from for so long because they've been so deeply buried in shame. I have so many things that I suppress and I don't even allow myself to see them. Like, I know deep down that they're there, somewhere within me knows, but I suppress them that much that I kind of low-key didn't realize that those things were actually controlling the trajectory of my life, and those were the things that were keeping me stuck in this victim mindset and in this mindset that nothing really works out for me, and like no matter how hard I try, everything seems to go wrong, nothing works out in my favor, blah 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 blah. Just victim mindset. And I said in my last podcast how I do have a tendency to be a little bit of a victim. For me personally, I do think that that's like an overcorrection from my childhood. When I was a kid, I found myself the subject of so many arguments and so many injustices. I've always been very, very strong on justice. This is the Caring a Lot podcast. We care a lot, and we care a lot about things being fair and equal and everyone having their time to speak and empathy. We love all that shit over here. And I feel like I just remember being a kid and so many things just being so unfair. And I was raised to fight for my life, to fight for my opinion, for my voice to be heard. When you've kind of like gone through certain things and you've had people gaslight you and manipulate you and make you think that you're crazy, etc., etc., especially when you're young and your brain is very spongy and susceptible to programming and input, when we become an adult and we become aware of these things, and we finally meet new people who can kind of be like, oh, that was a bit shit. Like, that's not the most ideal situation. That wasn't the best for you to go through, etc., etc. And you get this validation from other people for the first time in your life because you've probably spent your whole life being told that you're crazy and that you're too opinionated, you're too loud, you're too dramatic, stop crying, all of these things. And then when you become an adult and you have people finally validating you, people finally being like, girl, that's not right. You shouldn't have gone through that. You shouldn't have had to have dealt with all of that shit. It's kind of like addictive. You sort of lap it up because it's the first time that you've heard this ever in your life. It's the first time you've got the external validation that you craved so much when you was a kid. And I think the pendulum for me swung way too far the opposite direction. I went from kind of being a victim, like actually being one, to feeling like one, and to embodying the identity of a victim and allowing that to control the trajectory of my life and control the way that I show up in every single aspect of my life. I've been really honest with myself recently about that, and I didn't realize just how much I was concealing my own parts, emotions, personality from myself that I didn't want to face. I didn't want to face the fact that I have a victim mindset. That's embarrassing. That's fucking embarrassing. Like, you don't want to be a victim. You don't. And that for me triggers me so much when I see other people who are playing victim and they're not solution oriented and just being annoying like that. You know the vibes. That really triggers me. And I've known for a while, like, oh, if that triggers me, maybe there's a part of that inside of me. But for so long I was like, no, I'm not a victim. Like, I don't play the victim, da 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 da. And now I'm realizing I probably do a little bit. One thing about being a victim, I think Right, let's just clarify. You can be a victim, and that's completely valid, 100%. But there is a difference from being a victim and actually embodying the identity of a victim, having a victim mindset. And I think that's what I was teetering on the edge of. I always kind of like suppressed it a little bit, but it was deep down within me. That's another thing as well. I suppressed the victim mindset. It would probably leak out. People would probably see it from time to time, like my boyfriend especially, because I'm a crybaby when I'm around him because I feel safe and he looks after me and whatever. But for the most part, I would spend so much energy masking. That is what I was raised to be able to do. I remember when I was a kid, I wanted to be an actress. So I just thought, well, in order for people to like me, I'll just pretend to be what they want me to be. And so I did that. And that then became the way of my existence. And that's how I portray myself in the world. That is how I portray myself to people. But when you have these emotions and these feelings inside of you, there is a part of you that is feeling these emotions. There is a part of you that feels like you're the victim. You feel hard done by. You feel like things aren't fair. You feel like things should be going more in your favor, and why are they not going in your favor? The more we ignore that part of us, the more it controls our life, the more it runs the show. It dictates every single action that you take. When you don't acknowledge these emotions and you don't sit with them and you don't listen to what they have to say, you don't listen to the feelings that want to be released, and you just suppress them, you shove them under the carpet, they get more powerful. They get stronger and stronger and stronger, and they operate your life from behind the scenes. I was thinking about this last night. I did a little video journal to myself, and I was talking about this same thing. And a good analogy to kind of demonstrate this is, imagine you're a kid, right? And you have been so badly wronged. There's an argument, the other person is so clearly wrong, like they are being so unreasonable and out of order, yet they are saying that you're in the wrong and you're crazy and you're this, that, and the third, and then they just completely dismiss your feelings and how this situation has affected you. Imagine you're that kid, right? And imagine what you would feel like when you're being ignored, you're being dismissed, you're being told that you're crazy, you're being told that's not true. You would go insane. I've experienced this in real life as well, so this was a perfect analogy for me, but you would go absolutely insane. And would you let it go? No. Well, at least I wouldn't let it go anyway. I would ruminate. I would dwell and ruminate, and that would stick with me, and I would be absolutely fucking fuming. And I would keep holding on to that, because when someone does us wrong, we hold on to it until we kind of have that, like, we hash it out with them, and we have that argument where we're like, we sort of clear the air a little bit. I can't release it because I'm so annoyed and I'm so infuriated about the situation. It's so unfair. And you just cannot believe that people would not see your side of it, your point of view. That is the same thing that is going on within you, except the inner child is the emotions that you are suppressing. You're ignoring the feelings. You're not letting that emotion, that part of you speak. That shadow part of you that you have shoved under the carpet because you don't want to associate it. It doesn't really resonate with you. You're like, no, I don't want that to be part of my personality. You shove it under the carpet and you don't sit with it, but it's still there. That child is still within you. You are still the same fucking human being that you were when you was a child. And all of those things that get caused from little moments, little traumas in our life, big or small, it doesn't really matter. But these things build up and build up and build up. And if you don't sit with them from time to time, if you continue scrolling, numbing, eating, going out, drinking, distracting, and you're not sitting with that part of you ever, that part of you is going to get so much stronger because all it wants is to feel seen and heard and validated. And you know what? Let's imagine you're that child again, right? If you was angry about a situation, you felt like, oh my God, this is so unfair, and you were all triggered and wound up, and you couldn't let it go. The only thing that would make you feel better in that situation would be for the adult to sit down with you and be like, right, I get it. I understand why you're frustrated. That's so annoying. And to sit there and validate you and to say, you are valid in what you're feeling, but we can move past it now. We can move past it. Even if the other person didn't agree with you, even if they want to die on that hill, if you had another adult come in and say to you, look, you're right, you're validated, I completely get what you're going through, but I'm going to hold your hand and we're going to get through this together. You can move past this and we can release this. You would feel so much better. You would feel heard. You would feel seen. And yeah, you might get triggered again. It might come up again. It might be that you're in another argument and someone else is trying to like tell you that you're wrong and you're like, oh my God, I'm so triggered. And that thing comes up again. And then someone else comes and tells you, they sit with you and they're like, no, honestly, I get you, girl. I understand it, but we can move through this. We can move past this. We don't have to cling on to this. You'd feel so much better. And that is exactly what you need to do with your emotions, with your shadow side, with your inner child. When an emotion gets triggered from whatever it is, it might be the most trivial little thing that triggers you in a day, because we can deal with so many triggers in a day. We come across so many triggers. But when those triggers come up, it's your responsibility to sit with that part of yourself and to just listen to what it has to say. Listen to what comes up. Listen to the frustrations that that part of you has, and don't be afraid of it. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't be telling yourself, oh no, you're crazy. You need to stop thinking, stop thinking, stop thinking. Actually sit with that part of yourself. And if you can't do it in the moment, if you get triggered at work or whatever, park it. And then tell yourself that you will come back to it later and you will sit and you will go through it and you'll process it, you'll validate it, etc. But you sit with that part of yourself and just listen to what it has to say. And it really is that fucking simple. And for the longest time, I have been overcomplicating shadow work, because that is essentially what this is. But I've been overcomplicating that. I've been thinking like, oh my God, if I get triggered, I have to go to the root, and I have to go to the root of the trauma and be really sad and really cry my way through it and go deep, deep, deep. But sometimes all it is to sit and listen to it and be like, yeah, I get it. I understand. That's so shit. Girl, that's so shit. How you would reassure your friends, how you'd reassure your family and validate them. Sitting with yourself and validating yourself, validating that part of you. That if we think of it like an inner child, think of that part of you like your inner child who's frustrated, she's sad, she's upset, she feels a certain kind of way, and she's lonely. She wants someone to listen to her, but for so long, you've just been ignoring her because it's too uncomfortable to face. It's too uncomfortable to face the shame and the guilt that you have stored deep inside of you. So you ignore her. And that is why eventually, over time, the feeling of that part of you that is being ignored and dismissed, it builds up and builds up and builds up and compounds. And then all of a sudden you'll blow and you'll burn out completely. You'll hit rock bottom and you'll be like, oh my God, not this again. I wonder why I'm feeling like this. And then you're forced to actually listen to that part and listen to why it is that you've gotten to this point. But if we did a little bit of daily maintenance and we addressed triggers as and when they come up, it depends how much you're getting triggered as well. Like, I know that we don't all have time to be sitting there all day and being like, oh, da, da. But it doesn't even need to be that deep. It can literally just be like, girl, I get it. Not punishing her, not telling her like, oh, you're stupid, we've got to go do this, we've got to lock in, we've got to da 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 da. All of this self-development jargon that we throw at ourselves. Instead of doing that, sitting with yourself just 2 minutes, just sitting with yourself and being like, right, pep talk, pep talk. Girl, this is shit. I know it's shit. We don't want to be doing this. We don't want to be in this job. We don't want to be having to do this thing. And it's awful. I know, and you are so valid in feeling that, because it is awful. We've been dragged out of bed at the arse crack of dawn, and it's horrible. We feel like we want to be sick. It's the worst feeling ever. But we don't have to sit in this emotion. We don't have to fester in how bad something's going to feel. We can actually park that emotion and say, right, we'll revisit this later, but for now, we have shit to do. We have work to go to. We have an event that we need to go to. And we're going to do it because you are a woman of your word and you do the things that you say that you're going to do. But then we're going to come back and we're going to sit with that part later and just explore how it was feeling. I think that's all it takes. I'm really beating around the bush. I'm beating a dead horse here. I feel like I do that in all my podcasts. I really do kind of go around the bushes and say a point a million times, but sometimes I just need to say it a million times because it needs to land. But all it takes for you to make your life so much easier and not feel like you are being fueled by shame and guilt and fear and taking actions from this place of feeling anxious all the time, feeling scared all the time, feeling sad and melancholic all the time. Actually getting to the root of that, understanding why, and exploring the parts of yourself that you have suppressed for so long. Maybe that's jealousy. Maybe you don't want to admit that you get jealous from time to time of influencers who are living your dream life. They're doing the thing that they want to do. I actually experienced this yesterday, right? I was watching Tamcore. I love Tamcore. I absolutely love Tamcore so much. And it's so weird because sometimes I'll watch her videos and I feel so empowered, so excited. I feel like, oh my God, she's living the life that I want to live. I love this for her. Like, she is genuinely killing it. I love it. But then other times when I'm feeling a little bit deflated, I'm feeling a little bit burnt out, the limiting beliefs are getting stronger. The gargoyles in your head, as Courtney Cho would say, are getting stronger. They're getting bigger. The gargoyles are getting bigger and scarier and harder to fight off. So you are listening to these limiting beliefs more and you're feeling like, oh, I'm not capable, I can't do this, da 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 da. And because you feel like you can't do it, because you don't feel capable in that moment, feelings of jealousy come up. Feelings of, I don't know, just like a weird feeling in your body, like a rejection of watching a vlog, let's say, because you're like, oh my God, like I can't deal with the fact that this girl is living my dream life right now, and you have to turn it off. This was literally what I did last night, and I sat with that emotion because I felt so ashamed of it. I felt so embarrassed of the fact that I had to do that. And I felt like, oh my God, I'm not happy for her. Like I'm not the person who I know myself to be in my head. Like obviously I'm not that person. But the thing is, you are not your emotions, and it is completely normal for you to feel any emotion, any spectrum of emotion. Anger, rage, they're the same thing. Happiness, jealousy, shame, guilt, fear, all of these things. You can feel all of these spectrums of emotions, but it doesn't mean that that is you. It doesn't mean that that emotion defines you. Because if that emotion defined you, you would be that all of the time. And I know you're not that emotion all the time. And that goes to show that your emotions are not you. You are not your emotions. So you don't need to identify with them. You don't need to cling on to them. And when you feel an emotion, be like, oh my God, all of my progress is gone. Everything that I've worked towards is destroyed. You don't need to think that, because that is not the case. And you are allowed to feel feelings of jealousy from time to time, and it's completely normal. What you do with that feeling of jealousy is what determines the character that you have, determines who you actually are. And for me, because I so strongly don't resonate with jealousy, because I know deep down in my heart, like I care so much for other people, especially the girly pops. I literally live for seeing the girls thrive and living their best life. And it's so weird sometimes having this like juxtaposition of feelings, because sometimes like when I'm feeling shit, I will be like, oh my God, I feel a bit jealous. Like, oh my God. And I'll start like thinking, oh, why do I have that? My content's better than that. Or my thoughts are better than that. Or, oh my God, I thought that a year ago, or whatever it was. And you start feeling things like that, and you start thinking, oh my God, no, I'm a jealous person. I can't believe it. I'm the sort of person that people cancel on TikTok. I'm the sort of person who would be burnt at the stake in the times of the witches. And you start going down that really crazy rabbit hole. And it's just so unnecessary. It really is so unnecessary, because you are not your emotions, and your emotions are not you. You can sit with them. You can listen to what they have to say, like literally just sit. I always talk about meditation, because meditation is so good and it gives you an opportunity to actually listen to what's coming up in your mind. But just sit. Just put a timer on for 5 minutes and just sit and be like, right, what am I feeling right now? Like, where am I feeling it in my body? Where is the jealousy residing? Is it like in my stomach? Am I feeling a bit like, oh my God, I've got a churning stomach? Or, oh, does it hurt in my chest, in like my heart chakra? Feeling where it actually feels, feeling where it actually comes up in your body and sitting with it and asking, like, what do you want to say? What do you want to say right now? Like, girl, come on, lay it all on the table. Say every piece of nasty shit that you want to say about this situation or about how you're feeling. Let it all out. And in that moment, know that you are not the emotion that is voicing all of these things. You are completely separate. You are the observer of it. And let it say everything that it needs to say. And once it's done, once it's let it all out, had a little vent, be there for it. Validate it. Tell it, oh my God, I didn't realize you were feeling this way. I'm so sorry that you're feeling this way, and it's completely normal for you to feel this way, but we don't have to continue down this trajectory. We can choose a different path. We can choose something different. We can choose to be happy, to be joyous, and we can choose to move past this. We can choose to release the emotion. So yeah, that's what I've been doing recently. I have been getting kind of triggered a lot about loads of random little different things, and I've found it really difficult. But what I would usually do, which is avoid it, scroll, watch TV, eat food, procrastinate. Instead of doing that, I have actually been facing the discomfort of sitting with the emotion, no matter how uncomfortable it is, just sitting with that emotion and being like, right, girl, what you got to say? Come on, give it to me. Give it to me, what you got to say. And letting her speak and not shaming her for it, because you cannot manifest your dream life from a place of shame, from a place of unawareness. Is that a word? From a place of not understanding yourself, and more importantly, your shadow self, the part of you that you have been suppressing for so long because it's not socially acceptable, maybe, perhaps. My camera's overheating again. I feel like this is a common occurrence because we're having a heat wave at the minute in the UK. It's so hot, I'm sweating, my pits are wet. But yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys. I wanted to just share this raw, vulnerable, open, honest conversation with you guys about me facing emotions that I don't really resonate with, but sitting with them, letting them say what they have to say, and then just holding her hand through it, holding the inner child's hand within me. It's been helping me so much. And I can tell just in the way that I feel, in the way that I've got more energy. I've been so much more productive. I've been getting so much done. And then when I start to get burnt out, I'm like, oh, I need rest. I need to sit with this part of me that's starting to feel a little bit like the limiting beliefs are taking over. The gargoyles are taking over. As much as it's been uncomfortable in the moment, it's actually been helping me so much. So if you were trying to manifest and you're trying to work towards your dream life, but you feel like you're just getting stuck and held back by the severity and the weight of your emotions, all you have to do is sit with your emotions and be there for your emotions. Be there for the shadow side of yourself that is suffering, that's in pain right now, and see the shadow self like it's a little girl, like this little kid, and she's so upset and no one's listening to her and she feels so alone in this world. Be the one to sit with her and be the one to validate her and tell her that you can move past it. And honestly, that is just going to change your life. It's genuinely going to change your life. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Let me know if you guys relate to this, because I know a lot of us are probably suppressing parts of ourselves that we're not too proud of. And girl, I want to free you from that, because it feels so good to just authentically and unapologetically be yourself. Anyway, before my camera dies, I love you so much. I hope you all have an amazing week. Leave a 5-star review and comment and like and all of that fun stuff, and I will speak to you next week. Bye.